All right. Hi, guys. I'm Katie from Periapsis Press, and this is my husband, David. David Room. Well, because you're an author, and I wanted to make sure that it was.
Those days are long gone.
That's not true. We are just back from Half Price Books, where we got a hold of some things to flesh out our home library. And we're pretty excited about them.
Yeah, we don't get over there as often as we used to, and since we've been over there last, we did our library, and we kind of had a chance to look at things and kind of start thinking about what are some missing gaps in our collection. I should adjust this a little bit.
Sure.
What are some missing gaps in our collection, and think about what we want to collect and things like that. So we spent a bunch of money. We spent about like $100 or so.
I didn't.
Yeah, it was like 110 or something. So, but we got just a bunch of really fun, different, random stuff. And Half Price Books, I don't know if any of you guys have them around you, but they're like a really good place to find stuff, really good deals. So we got a lot of stuff, a lot of really good stuff to talk about. So I'm just gonna retweet this, and and then we can get started. We each found a bunch of different stuff. I think you found a little bit more than I did this time.
Yeah, but mine's maybe a little less interesting. I think I have one or two things that are really interesting.
Yeah.
The others are kind of still cool, and I'm glad that I found them. But
yeah, and our daughter found some cool stuff too. Well, I suppose, let's see, did her book end up down here yet?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I did snag it.
Yeah.
Hi, Skunks Workshop and Jeff Park.
Nice.
Oh,
hey, everyone.
He doesn't have Half Price Books in Alberta.
Not in Canada?
Oh, you're missing out. It is like a chain.
It's a chain.
So if you go to Barnes & Noble or BAM or Borders when it was around, right? Like the bulk of their stuff is not books at this point, their floor space. And if you look at their book selection, it's kind of heavy on paperbacks. It's kind of hard to find.
You're talking new bookstore? Yeah, I mean, and I think that just reflects the fact that hardcovers are really expensive. I'm sorry, guys, if you're seeing some stutters. I'm watching along on YouTube, and there's a ton of stuttering. So
really,
if that's happening, I apologize. If I see it keep happening, we might have Katie disconnect and reconnect. But yeah, I mean, especially hardcover books are quite expensive to buy brand new. I think a lot of people don't just go out and buy a lot of new hardcover books. Well, I mean, I guess at Barnes & Noble, there's a lot of like new hardcover fiction.
Yeah. But like if you just go into an aisle, most of it's going to be paperback.
Yeah.
The new release section will be heavier on the hardcovers.
Whereas with Half Price Books, kind of all their paperback stuff is in one section, and Christopher Mankhouse mentioned that he loved the vintage sci-fi paperbacks. Yeah, so I didn't get a ton of time to look at the vintage sci-fi.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're still stuttering. I hope that's not too invasive for people.
I wish I knew more about sci-fi.
Yeah,
like as a genre and what like
Yeah.
I don't just want to grab everything by
Well-
Isaac Asimov just because, right?
Well,
like,
and that's kind of my thing. It's not something I'm collecting right now. But I did get some paperback stuff from the fantasy section. So we are okay. So I'm seeing these really big stutters again. Can you disconnect or move to different Wi-Fi?
sure, I can try.
What Wi-Fi are you on right now?
The 5 gigahertz.
Can you
Switch to the other one?
Yeah. All right. We should be back in just a second. All right. I think we're back.
Everything look good?
Yeah, let's try to stick on this for a while and see how
Sure.
it goes. Okay, yeah. So,
Hi, Doug Wise.
yep, but we are yeah, I think this is better.
Okay.
We are I've been thinking a lot about kids books now that we have more space, and it's not just you know, books for me, but stuff that I want to have for my kids. I've been thinking about that, so I did a lot of looking for kids books this time. And so we've got a lot of that to show.
Yeah.
So should we start in? We've got quite a few people here, so I
Yeah.
think we should
Thanks
start
for
in.
joining us, guys.
What do you want to do first?
Should we just pull off the top?
Yeah. So
I found this. This is our daughter's new book.
Something she found.
It's just Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass with the illustrations by John Tenniel. I believe those are the original illustrations.
Yeah, they're so when I was a kid, we had this kind of like classics series. My parents still have them, but they had the original illustrations for Alice in Wonderland, and they look a lot like this, except some of these are colored.
Mm-hmm.
So like this one is colored. I don't think they were originally colored, so I don't know who did the colors, but yeah, it's a really nice book. I'm always suspicious of things like this, but it's typeset really nice. And let's see, does it have it looks like it has Through the Looking Glass too.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yeah. Our daughter was thrilled to be given the Half Price Books bookmark. She was, I got a bookmark.
Yep.
Yeah, nice hardcover.
Yeah, it doesn't have a dust jacket.
No.
It's just printed on the cover,
Yep.
but that's fine.
I think that's fine for kids' books.
Yeah. All right, so that's number one. Okay, I'm going to show one here. So I used to read the Animorphs books a ton as a kid, and I started looking into them, and they are a little on the scarce side, because I think the online consensus is that those Animorphs books were actually really good, or at least a bunch of them were. And God, just my head. What am I doing here? Okay, at least a bunch of them were really good, and so I've been watching for them different places, and they are somewhat hard to find. So when I saw this, my hat's still messed up. Man, I cannot see straight. There we go. All right. So I saw this one. This is the Andalite Chronicles, and the Animorphs. They were like sort of the numbered series, and then there were these Chronicles books that were like sort of longer books that would follow side characters and stuff. And this one was in really nice shape. I believe this is about Elfanger. If I remember right, he's the Andalite who comes and gives the Animorphs their powers. And the very first Animorphs book that I ever read actually is the Hork-Bajir Chronicles. So this is another like Chronicles spin-off book. This is a really interesting book if you ever want to read a book that's like, it's kind of like another sort of Pocahontas type, Avatar type story. Of course, this predates the Avatar movie by a long time. And I forget if it's Elfinger's sister or his cousin or something that's the main character of this book, but it's a female Andalite. Anyway, this is not a nice like hardcover copy or anything, but it was still in really good shape. It has this kind of cool the Chronicles books had these cool like fold out illustrations inside, and I thought that was really awesome. So you have Elfanger here, and then you have the him looking at the kids who become the Animorphs in the first book on the inside.
Oh, that's his eye.
Yes, his eye.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, So I just thought this was kind of a nice pickup. $2.99. These things are getting scarce. People are after them. It was in really nice shape. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Nice.
So that was a good one that I found. Do you want to do another?
Do you want to just hand me the Artemis Falls stack?
Yeah.
So I have all 4 of these books in softcover paperback, and I'm pretty sure my dad is an elementary school teacher, so I'm pretty sure his name is in the front of a couple of them, and so I thought it would be good to give them back. And I'm just updating my my collection. They have been bothering me for a while because they're kind of mushed between hardcover books, and there's so many of them in a row that I have been wanting to get hardcover copies. So I did. I grabbed all 4. There's more than 4. There's 5 or 6, but I tapped. I didn't like the 5th one. I actually had that one and got rid of it. And I think it's because it messes around with time, which I'm not a huge fan of in books, which is odd, I think, for a sci-fi fantasy fan in general. But
yeah. And this first one, it looks like, I don't know too much about these books. This first one looks like a reprint of the original because it doesn't have the dust jacket.
Yeah.
And it's Disney Hyperion Barnes & Noble Collector's Edition, but it's still in pretty good shape. This one is from 2019. The other ones are closer to when they came out, I think. So I don't know. I'm intrigued enough now to do some research into whether there's a hardcover one of the first that matches these a little bit better. Because this makes me makes me a little nervous, but it's fine. So yeah. And so these are all hardcover books in really nice shape.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are, I mean, they look almost brand new, right? And they were what, $7.99 a piece?
Yeah, some shelfware. That's it.
$7.99 a piece. So that's the kind of really, really good deals you can find at.
I remember seeing this cover as a kid and just being so intrigued. They're kind of just generic covers, but they made me curious. They were like mysterious, you know.
I've never found those covers appealing.
Yeah.
They're just like some really random thing. Like,
yeah.
What is that? I don't know.
All right. Oh.
Yep. I'm actually gonna you can talk about these. I'm gonna grab something off the other shelf.
Okay. So this is manga. So, you know, satanic, right? Ouran High School Host Club was a favorite of mine in college. The anime. And then I stumbled across a set of the first 4 or first 5 at half price books, and then over time have collected more of them. I'm still missing 10, but this is 12 through 16, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, these are the storyline is just, it's just kind of fun and silly, and it's not sci-fi fantasy at all. It's just takes place in a private school for the super rich, right? So very, very degenerate.
It's not degenerate.
No, I'm being sarcastic because of.
Oh, and William Rankin says he hopes the price stickers come off easy.
Oh, they do.
They do. They use very particular price stickers that come off easy. Even off of vintage stuff, they pop right off.
Just beautiful. They're I have never had one stick or tear into pieces or anything. They're just so easy.
Yeah, I think I've even bought like vintage books that have them on, and they come right off. I think they're specially like formulated with a lighter amount of adhesive or something.
They're careful too. So if it's like an older book or vintage book, instead of putting it on the front, they'll put it on a sticky note inside.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something that
we might have an example
have in a couple of these.
Yeah, but they do just peel right off. It's so nice.
Yeah. So okay. So some more kind of kids books I found. So we have been we went through the first couple seasons of the Redwall TV show with our daughter, and I read pretty much all the Redwall books when I was younger. And I have a bunch of them that I got both secondhand and new as a kid. So like the first one that I read, and one of my favorites, is Martin the Warrior. So this is my copy from when I was a teenager. But I never owned the original first 3. And I found some copies that are, they're paperback, but they're in pretty good shape here.
I love these covers.
Yeah, I want to say I'm familiar with these covers, but I don't think I have any that are this style. So we have Redwall, Mossflower, and Madame Mayo. So for those who don't know too much about Redwall, it's kind of a anthropomorphic. Screw it, my shelf. Anthropomorphic animals kind of series. There's not really a whole lot of magic in it, except for this figure of Martin the Warrior, who will come and appear to different people. So Redwall was the first one. You notice it's shorter than the others. It's a little different. And then Mossflower is a prequel that kind of talks about the character of Martin the Warrior coming to Redwall. And then Madame Mayo is a sequel to Redwall that talks about what happens with Matthias's kids, and Matthias is the main character of Redwall. So he's like a young man or a young adult mouse in Redwall, and then he's an adult in Madame Mayo. Mm-hmm. And the 3 TV shows they made were Redwall, Madame Mayo, and Martin the Warrior. Madame Mayo is like a really good adaptation of the book, and Martin the Warrior was pretty bad. So
I just want
we haven't showed that to our daughter, but
a little bit closer the cover. So there's Clune. I think these are so beautiful. And I'm forgetting the name of all of these guys, but
Slagar,
yeah.
Yeah, so these I think are the original. They're Avon fantasy paperbacks. I think these are the original paperbacks. I'm not sure who did the cover. So I think it says Thomas Canty did the cover illustrations. So like the later, these have this really like kind of it kind of looks like a tapestry
Sure.
style,
Doug Wise said sort of like a
like a
illuminated.
illuminated manuscript or kind of a tapestry kind of
Yeah.
thing. More abstract. And then so this is one that I have that I bought used, so it was quite old when I got it as a kid. This is Marielle of Redwall. It has this, you can see it's the same kind of cover. It doesn't have the illuminated manuscript thing, but it's like, I think it's the same. Yeah, Tom Canty.
Cool.
And then later they pivoted to this style that was, I think, more in line with the hardcover versions. So someday I want to get a hold of the hardcover versions of these three. But I mean, again, so these were $3 a piece, and they're in like pretty good shape. There's like a tear, I guess, that I didn't see on the back of this one, but they're not really faded. This one has a stupid Savers sticker that's going to be a pain to get off. You can see how well that comes off compared to the Half Price Books ones. But I thought, how cool was it just to like walk in? I wasn't expecting to walk into Half Price Books and find these, and they actually had 2 copies each of Redwall and Madame Mayo. So like, just walk in to the paperback section and find like the first 3 books in a really popular series for just a few bucks each. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
great.
I've been looking lately on eBay for paperbacks, and you can find whatever you want, but it's kind of hard to find copies that are in nice shape.
Yeah.
On eBay. So I thought these were a pretty good find.
Yeah.
And are gonna go nice on my little Redwall shelf.
Skunk's Workshop says that's a wonderful buy. Great find.
Yeah, it's been ages since I read them. You know, I kind of quit. I kind of petered out after about like the 12th one or something, when I realized that they were all kind of the same. And I don't think he really put a lot of effort into internal consistency across the series.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really change the fact that the first few are really good, and they're good individually, and I'm sure that our kids are just gonna tear them up someday. So yeah.
I have Castaways of the Flying Dutchman.
I don't know, I've never read that one actually.
And I saw it, same copy that I have there, and I know that there's a sequel one too. I don't remember that.
I think it's called The High Command, maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember. And
Angel's Command.
I read the Redwall series, but Castaways I read out loud to my sister, and so I have like a emotional social connection with it. But
I didn't know that you actually read Redwall. Did you read all of them?
Yeah, like
probably just whichever ones you could find.
The problem was that I read them from the library, and I was obsessed with trying to read them in order.
Yeah.
So,
which doesn't really make sense because they're all pretty. I was trying to do that at first too, but then it's like you don't really need to read them in order.
Yep, I read the first few in order, and then whatever was there. So yeah, but I don't really remember. Like I remember bits and pieces of them, but like I don't remember which books they belong to. The TV show really helped solidify some of those memories. So Sam Goyer comments, it's a golden age for used books. You get really good stuff for a good price. Unless it's something that's not very common. Like I was trying to get a hold of this children's book that I remembered from my childhood, and like a beat up library hardcover was $60 to $100. And I was,
well, that's anything. There's certain things that are more expensive, but it's really cool to just be able to walk into Half Price Books and get Redwall, Mossflower, and Madame Mayo for $3 each that are in like nice shape. I mean, my copies that I got and read once or twice myself are in really good shape, but all of the ones that I got used are like in worse worse shape than these.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was a nice find.
Did you pass me one of the things I got?
Yeah.
Sure.
You want to justify that?
What?
Don't peel the price tags off yet.
It's over the cut.
I wanna kind of keep track of what we pay for stuff later. So
okay.
I don't want to.
I won't take it off.
I don't want to take them off right now.
So this is Science Fiction Handbook Revised by DeCamp and DeCamp. And according to the inside, it's highly sought after as a commentary on science fiction. I just thought it would be fun.
And when was that? When was that published or originally published?
Copyright 1975.
Yeah.
So like the first half of it is like the history of science fiction and fantasy and sort of commentary about the genre, and the second half is about writing science fiction. And so I'm very interested to see. I'm particularly interested in the first half. Also interested in the second half. I'm not planning to write science fiction myself, of course, but I think that this kind of thing is intriguing and always good for like shaping how I, as a reviewer, think about the genre. So that's why I got it. It looked cool.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of hard to argue with $5 for this. Yeah, I'm sure you'll have some stuff to say about whatever's in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's got a section in here called Modern Imaginative Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in seeing what people say about the genre that I'm interested in. So
should be a quick read too.
Yeah,
it's not like super long. All right, so I also found some kids books here. So I really liked the Bunnicula series of books when I was a kid. I don't know if anybody else has read these, but they are a kids, like, I don't know what you call this, like they're like elementary school, middle grade level. And the basic plot of these books is that there is there is a family. They have a cat and a dog. The dog is named Harold, I think, and the cat is named Chester after G.K. Chesterton. And in the first book, a rabbit, like an abandoned rabbit in a box with a unintelligible note, shows up on the door and on the doorstep, and then the rabbit is like some kind of mutant that doesn't eat vegetables, but sort of sucks their juices out like a vampire. Have you ever read these?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but basically the whole plot is that Chester the cat is convinced that this rabbit is evil and has like a wealth of knowledge about the occult that he draws on to try to defeat the rabbit, and the dog kind of plays along or not, depending on how he's feeling. And they just kind of get into these different adventures. And I have my own copy of the book that's at home at my parents' house. So, but I kind of wanted to get a set that all sort of look the same, and they had a bunch of them here. So they had 2 copies of the first one. These are all these Avon Camelot ones. They had 2 copies of the first one. I couldn't decide which one to buy. One is a little bit newer, and the other one was a little bit better shape. I just decided to buy both, whatever. And then And then they had the Celery Stalks at Midnight. This was one of my favorites from the series. And then Nighty Nightmare. And then
Nighty Nightmare, because Christopher Menkes was saying that Bunnicula wasn't in the second one, but I feel like Bunnicula was in the third one.
He's not always in them.
Okay.
Like so the other one that I have, I got at this what was that sale? It was like a consignment sale.
Oh yeah.
Well, and this is Return to Holiday Inn. So I just need the first Holiday Inn book, and then that will complete.
You'll have all of them, even if they don't match.
Yeah, there might be a few more. Yeah, Holiday Inn I think is going to be the only one that I'm missing.
Can you grab the first one again?
Yeah. But they don't always have Bunnicula. Like in Holiday Inn, they go to a boarding kennel and there's like a mystery that they solve there. But
they're kind of how would you say? They're like light fantastical elements.
Yeah, and kind of a good, I imagine sort of like, I never read Goosebumps, but I imagine kind of like Goosebumps, they'd be sort of a good introduction to horror for a kid, where it's like, you know, you have something that seems supernatural and it might be a little bit, but probably isn't. And then you have like Chester, the cat in the stories, is kind of takes on the role of like
one of the professors.
Yeah, like a professor, or like Van Helsing or something, where he's got this knowledge of, because Chester is well read, right? So Chester knows all about like this, you know, all this occult lore. And I mean, I'm using occult in kind of an exaggerated sense for kids, so it's nothing crazy. But and these books are so short. I'm kind of looking forward to they should be really quick to reread and review. And I think honestly, Remy might, or our daughter, I should say, might get something out of them as they are.
I bet she would think it's funny.
I think she would think Chester the cat is funny because he always tries to do silly things to the rabbit. So
yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah. So that was my find. So just one or two left to finish this little Avon Camelot.
Skunk's Workshop was asking if there's like a name for this series.
I mean, I think it's just I would call it the Bunnicula series.
Even though Bunnicula isn't in all of them, isn't that funny?
Bunnicula, Holiday Inn, The Celery Stalks at Midnight.
Read all about Bunnicula's other adventures. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a nice little find.
I found this. I grabbed it. It's a 2-book set, Treasure Island and Tales from King Arthur, with nice kind of like a leather spine. Just really nice, kind of tiny.
And then those are the, what did it say for the illustrator? Or no, it didn't. It says edited by Andrew Lang.
Yeah.
I don't know if the illustrations are anything to write home about.
Color illustrations by Monroe S. Orr.
Yeah.
There's some full color page ones, and then some black and white ones.
Yeah, and these are like in I would say new condition. I don't know. Basically, look like they've never been opened.
Yeah.
So It's Wordsworth Classics. So I don't know. I don't know too much about. I don't know too much about companies that do stuff like this, where they put out like these bound editions.
Yeah,
Too much, but it's a really nice set for sure.
it's a nice kind of boys set, a lot of girl books because our first is a girl, but get these back in here without ruining the box or them. and of course, like fiction, that's more universal too. But I feel like that was a gap in the library, so I'm excited about that.
So then our daughter also found this one. So there was a section we were looking in. This was in the vintage section, right? So there was a section of kind of like vintage kids books, and so I don't know. Can you tell any more about how she spotted this? She will just basically grab the first thing that she finds and wants it, but occasionally she will actually.
Yeah, I think it was tucked up. It wasn't in the shelf. It was like tucked on top of the other books.
Might have been oversized.
Yeah.
So.
And she pulled it out and just turned to me like, Star Wars.
Yeah. So I've been trying to get her into Star Wars lately. So this is the Star Wars storybook. And the great thing about this is, and I guess William Jeffrey Rankin says that he had that one. So when they say the Star Wars storybook, they mean literally Star Wars: A New Hope. Like that's it. But I was paging through this. We didn't have a ton of time there, but it's really, really nice. So it is it's a Scholastic book. It has these great photographs in it, and it is a really nice, detailed storybook of A New Hope. Like, look at this. This is really nice. I mean, I've kind of gotten into collecting Star Wars stuff like in the last year. Oh, look at this. Look at this. The deleted scenes from A New Hope are in here. That's awesome. You see that?
Oh yeah.
So this is when Luke meets with Biggs.
Mm-hmm. And these are before.
Yep.
The what do they call them? Enhanced editions.
Oh yeah.
So there's no weird.
Yep. Really, really nice, and it's the really nice like typesetting and everything too.
It looks gorgeous.
It's great, and this will be fun because my daughter's gonna want me to read this to her, and she has not yet like actually heard the whole story of Star Wars. I've just shown her clips, and I'm not gonna let her watch the movie until she's quite a bit older because she only is 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I've avoided storybooks too much because I don't want her to learn about Darth Vader being Luke's father until she's old enough to actually watch Empire Strikes Back and get something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But this will be a really great way for her to get the story of A New Hope. And this is actually pretty crazy. I mean, I could see this being a great reference book for somebody who like wants to look at stuff like there's lots of like Cantina monsters and that it's kind of crazy how it has the Biggs scene in it too.
She'll get a kick just looking at the pictures for sure.
Yeah, there's some really nice like interior of the Millennium Falcon stuff.
Yeah, our daughter really likes Star Wars. She really enjoys like looking at your action figures that you've
Mhm.
been collecting. Every time something comes in the mail,
Yeah.
he likes to open it up and look at and talk about which character it is. And
Hmm.
you let her play with a couple, and she picked out right away who she wanted.
Yeah, she kind of knows all the main characters at this point, and the main villains and stuff. So that's been fun. And she's starting to actually play with them. Like a lot of times she'll just like she'll like set up tea parties or like make them food or whatever. But she's starting a little bit to actually play out stories with them. So that's fun.
Have I told you guys this story? She helps me with dishes while little brother takes his nap. And she pretends that she's making soup. And she tells me that she's making soup for the bad guys. Usually it's the trolls from The Hobbit, but she has mentioned Star Wars characters before, and various other villains. She makes them soup because probably they're hungry. I don't know if she thinks that's why they're being so naughty or what.
Yeah, this is great. And I mean, guess how much this was? This is $5. It's like, are you kidding me? Of course I'm going to pay $5 for this. I mean, this is like it's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm sure this isn't rare or anything, but like just walk into a store and find this. It's great. So this is going to go on my Star Wars shelf for sure.
And she'll get to look at it.
Yeah, she's probably not going to be able to just ding around with it by herself, but we'll read it together for sure.
My mom was with us and she found this, and she's like, I already have a copy. I was like, thanks, Mom. This will be my third copy. This is Tolkien's Letters from Father Christmas.
Now, is there anything different about that versus the ones that you have?
Yeah, it's a different edition. The ones that I have one of them here and the others with the Christmas books. This one is incomplete. It's the original version that was released. So it's shorter. It's got selected ones. Check this.
Where this is the complete one?
Yeah. I'm not sure if, this says 1976. I don't know what that one says.
Yeah, so this is 2020. So this
So
one's
it's a
actually
very
really
recent-
new.
Yeah.
And it says first published by George Allen and Unwin in 1976, based on the edition first published by HarperCollins 1999, revised 2004, 2012, 2019. So this is probably basically the same thing as your newer one.
Yeah. My newer one
That's a
has
bummer. There's a little bit of a gash on the
bummer.
edge.
My blue one has a dust jacket, which makes it really difficult for reading aloud and for the kids to page through it all. But and it's got some shelfware too. I think this is a better copy.
Does your other one have matte pages? This one is kind of cool. The pages are all matte. They're not glossy.
That's nice. I think they're glossy on my other one. I can run and look, but
nice find. Our goal is to basically just buy all of the copies of Lord of the Rings that we see, so nobody else can have them.
No.
We each personally own like at least 3 copies of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm. At least, yeah.
But like each of us.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So.
Yep. I have
SC Vincent asked, you guys like matte? So that's it. That's an interesting question. I like matte book covers. I know other people really hate them. So I guess I'm never going to publish them because people seem outspokenly like they hate them. I was talking actually about the interior, although the exterior of this book is matte too.
Yeah. The pages are not glossy,
Yeah.
even though they have full color
Yeah.
illustrations. They're papery.
Yeah.
I dislike the Amazon mat that's silky. I talked about this a little bit when I got my big order of indie books. I don't like that, like that just the texture grosses me out. There are different kinds of mat. So there are some mat books that I don't mind, but the Amazon ones with that texture grosses me out. But I do scrapbooking, and there's gloss and matte photos, and the matte in those is like kind of has like this like pebbly texture, and I think that is far superior, but they don't do that really for books, so that's how I feel about that. The texture needs to be right.
Yeah, Sam Goyer says, it feels like wax makes me think I'm getting my hands dirty.
Yeah.
I know that idea. I feel like they're not all like that.
Yeah.
But it's, it's a risk that you run. I kind of don't like the shiny ones because they show fingerprints really easily.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I mean, it all kind of varies.
It does. Another problem that I have with the mat is that it shows scratches. Like if you get a scratch in the page.
Yeah, I think there's advantages to disadvantages.
Yeah.
There's advantages and disadvantages to both as far as how they feel and how they show things. But
is this the last thing?
All right, yeah. So here's the last thing. So I didn't have a chance as much as I wanted to dig through the comics there, but I did make it through all of the clearance stuff, and I'm glad I did because I found something really nice, which is Pit #1 for 50 cents. So I have been getting into 90s comics a little bit because I thought it would be kind of fun to go back and read some of the comics that some of the creators that Ethan Van Sciver has on his Comicsgate Kings show did back in the day. So I've read She, Way of the Warrior #1. I read some of Mike Barron's. I got one of Mike Barron's Badger books. I read some Creed stuff. Trent Kanuga doesn't go on Comicsgate Kings, but I read some of his stuff because he was kind of a friend of Ethan's. And of course, I'm reading I have the 90s Cyberfrog collection that I'm reading through, and that's really good too. Sam Goyer mentions that Dale Keown is crowdfunding an omnibus. Yes. So I got on the mailing list for that. I don't know if I'm going to get it because I'm assuming that it's going to be pretty expensive, like probably a couple $100 or something. And I've got to pace myself with my comic buying, right? But whenever I see this stuff, I like to grab it. And I think I've also been kind of having fun learning about like the history of Image Comics. I know that's probably like kind of a story that everybody knows. I never was really too much into comics as a kid or even as an adult before now, so I never knew about this stuff. It was like these are things that are happening and I kind of had heard of when I was a kid, but I was too young to read. And I was born in '89, so I was kind of too young to read the stuff when it came out. But it's really fun to go back now. And I had a friend in growing up who drew his own comics, and looking back, his style was really took a lot after kind of like 90s stuff. And it's like a style that puts a lot of emphasis on just art over story, which, there's a trade-off to be made there. But I mean, I'm kind of the opinion that if you're reading a comic book, like you want crazy art. And I think this book kind of typifies that, that Image kind of prioritizing crazy art. Like you get these like vertical 2-page spreads. Pitt is like just this giant guy, kind of like Hulk. And it's just a neat sort of hyper busy, kind of cartoony, but really fun style. So it's it was fun to find this. This was not something I expected to find in the 50-cent bin. So finding this kind of made my day. S.E. Vincent is commenting on stuff. He says, I really want to read She. I have a bit of Witchblade. Yeah, I thought She #1 was really cool, and I would definitely try to find more of it. Sam Goyer recommends Aaron Lopresti's Wraith of God. Yeah, that looks really cool. I didn't back it. I'm not sure if you still can. I need to look into it, but that is one that I've thought about. And yeah, I mean, single issue comics is hard to follow. It's not something I would have gotten into at the time for sure, but nowadays, where you can grab an issue here or there of random stuff when you're at a comic shop, and then if you find something that you really like, you can buy more on eBay, right? Like it's not so bad, and it's fun to kind of, I think it's sometimes fun to not get everything all at once and sort of like fill in gaps as you go. So I think comics are kind of fun, and it is in pretty good condition. There's like a couple of dents in the cover, but overall it's nice. Like back cover's in good shape too. And I think I'm sure they printed the heck out of this. But I don't think that this is it's not like a reissue or reprint or special edition. I think it's the first. I think it's like basically the first printing of it. Yeah, Pitt #1, January 1993. So yeah, some cool artwork, fun ads in the back. Good stuff. So this will be fun to read soon. All right, and I think that's it.
That's it. One of these days we'll have to show you guys our new home library and take you around and show you what we have, but
yeah,
not tonight.
Yeah. It's nothing super fancy, but it's kind of fun to see everything all in one spot. And
yeah,
it'll be fun to get all this stuff on the shelves and see some of these series start getting fleshed out.
Like to line up your things, your collections. It's fun. Thank you guys so much. That is everything that we bought. So we're gonna end it here. Thank you for joining us and for commenting and chatting with us. And we'll see you again soon, probably for another chill stream this week. Gotta get through that Lego set.
Yep.
Let us know if you have any topics that you'd like us to talk about when we do, because
we always want stuff to talk about, and we don't always know what people are interested in. If you want to hear more about Matt Walsh's ilk, or if you want to move on to a different topic or whatever. So, or
if you want to hear more about Legos or the sort of things that we usually talk about on our regular stream, more of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Or if you want to hear our opinions on random things.
Yep.
All right, everybody have a good night.
Catch you later.